Yeah, hello everyone. So in today's session, we are going to understand relationship and hierarchy in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. So we had this feature in Informatica MDM on-premises as well, but there it was more challenging and more technical to implement this relationship and hierarchy. So for a relationship, we need to establish the relationship between the two business entity. If we want to define relationship between two business entity, we need to create the relationship and we need to add the relationship technically to combine the two business entity or two base object tables. But here they have made the things very simple. Just create the relationship name. And if you want to establish the relationship between business entity 1, business entity 2, then just select B1, B2 and select the relationship and just create it. So we don't bother about any tables in the backend which are associated for this relationship or hierarchy. We're not bothering about any technical things. Okay, same for hierarchy. So as we know that relationship mostly be used for the two business entity like B1, B2. But if more business entities are involved, like B1, B2, B3, and B4, for example, we have customer business entity, we have product business entity, we have location business entity, we have account business entity, right? Like that, suppose we have multiple business entity and you want to traverse both from B1 to B2, B3, B4 and all. And you can define the path and roadmap also, how you want to traverse. So this all thing we can accomplish through this hierarchy. So in hierarchy, we will try to understand, we have a different option, like how the roadmap we want to define for traverse from source to target, target to source and all. We have more flexibility. And if you remember in on-premises, for implementing hierarchy, it was very technical. We had lots of RBO, BO class code tables and all we need to define. So for hierarchy, we had three Informatica system tables, which we should maintain. RBO, BO class code, RBO, BO hierarchy, and RBO, BO some relationship and all, right? So we have to make sure that we will define these tables will automatically be created in on-premises once we will enable this hierarchy. And we need to make sure that we will pass the proper view class code for the respective business entity. Then only hierarchy configuration it will complete. But here you can complete the hierarchy in 5 minutes if you just know the steps in Cloud SaaS. And you should not know any technical things like creating the relationship between the two tables and all. Nothing is needed because all the technical thing has been hidden in the backend. And they have tried to make this tool for low code and no code, so any person can create a relationship hierarchy or anything. To understand this in more detail, let's go to our team. They will help us to understand how we can define relationship hierarchy, and they can expose a little more light on the theory part. So now I will pass it to Dhirendra and Pratiksha. They will help us to elaborate this in more details.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, sir. So, my name is Pratiksha, and I'll be explaining the relationship in detail in MDM Cloud SaaS. So, what it says is here that relationship defines how different business entities such as customers, products, accounts, suppliers, etc. they're connected. So, as the layman term, it would suggest the relationship that how the people are connected. So, that is the relationship. Now, the relationship are essential for building a 360-degree view of data and improving data governance, customer experience, and operational efficiency. So, these are the things that is why the relationships are of mainly use. So, what it says is what is a relationship in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. Now, we'll understand that what it is in technical terms. So, it represents a logical connection between two or more entities. It can be entities can be B1, B2, and the relationship between B1 and B2 can be called as a relationship in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. So it can be hierarchical, peer-to-peer, that is one-to-one, one-to-many, or complex networks that depends on the business needs. Now, why do we use relationship? So it helps in connecting the related records. that is linking customers to their accounts. It defines the hierarchical structure, that is parent-child relationships in organizations. Understanding associations, that is an employee working for multiple companies, that is one to many. Improving the data quality by linking correct and deduplicated records. So these are the uses of relationship. Now, what are the types of relationship in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS? So first is predefined relationship, that is out of box entities. So these are standard relationships that is provided by Informatica. These we don't have to customize. So what are the relationships that are predefined by Informatica? The customer account relationships, parent child relationships, that is hierarchy. The next is supplier product relationships, and then we have legal entity and location mapping. Now, the second comes in custom relationship. So, what the name itself suggests is custom means that the user can customize this relationship. So, what are the types? One is multi-level hierarchy relationship. That is, in company we have departments and department has employees. So, this can be one multi-level hierarchy relationship. Then next is non-hierarchical connection. That is supply bidirectional distributor and distributor bidirectional retailer. And then we have this many to many relationships. That is customers having multiple service providers. So these are the different that is types of relationships Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. Now next is relationship modeling in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. So the modeling is done using the relationship tables, and these tables store the association between master data records, and they also define the primary and foreign key, that is the unique records and the related records. The relationship types, that is one to one, one to many to many, so like that. And the effective dates, that is it defines the time bound relationships, if there are any time bound relationships. So effective dates define that. Then we have hierarchy levels, supports nested relationship for complex entity structure. So these are for hierarchy levels is for complex entity structure. Now, what we have next is how to create and manage relationships in Informatica MDM Cloud SaaS. So step one is you have to go to the entity. Then you have to identify the master data entity that you want to relate. That is, it can be customer, it can be account, product, supplier. So this is the master data entity. Now, step two is you have to configure the relationship type, that is one to one, one to many, or many to many. So, this you can go to data model in MDM and then you can define the relationship type. Then you have to define the business rules, constraints, or data validation as it is required. Then after modeling this, you have to link the records. So you have to use match and merge to deduplicate records before linking, because there can be duplicate records. So we have to make sure that there is no duplicate records. So we have to run match and merge process. Then we have to establish the relationship between records by assigning the primary and foreign key. So that is PKSRC object that we actually assign while defining the relationship, so which is required. Then step 4 is define the relationship rules. It can be that you set up the governance rule for relationship validation, and governance rules we know that is the uh, predefined rules that are given to an organization by the government. So these are the rules that we set up for relationship validation. Next is implement hierarchy management for nested relationship. Then next step is monitor and analyze the relationship. Now we have created all the relationship, so so it's time for monitor and analyzing the relationship. So what we do in this, we use MDM insights and report that actually gives us the report, and it tracks the relationship changes. Suppose if there is some change in the relationship, so it can be monitored by using this. Then we have perform data stewardship to resolve broken or incorrect links. So these are the steps that is required in case of any changes or in case of any broken or incorrect links. Now, what are the real world use cases? Like why we use or why we have relationship concept over here in MDM Cloud SaaS. So first is banking and finance. So in banking and finance, we can have customer account relationship for better risk assessment. Then we can identify the fraud detection patterns through linked accounts. So this is where it can be used. Then in retail and e-commerce, we have connecting customer purchase history to personalized marketing. And then product supplier relationship for optimized inventory. So this is where in retail it can be used. So we have two use cases, banking and finance and retail and e-commerce. So like in MDM Cloud SaaS, from where we can create the relationship, in Business 360, we go to model, and then over here we can see different options. So in last we have we have the option called relationship, and also we have the option hierarchy, that is for hierarchy. But right now we have to create a relationship, so we'll choose the fourth option. Then after clicking on relationship option, we have to create the relationship. So we have this window that opens up, and then we have to give these required names. And then in direction we have three types of direction, that is bidirectional, then organization, person to organization, and organization to person. So whatever use case that is there, so we can use the direction according to that. So this is how the relationship is created. So now I would like to invite Dhiren sir to explain more on the hierarchy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Pratiksha. So basically, I will move on in the topic of hierarchy. So in Informatica Cloud SaaS, hierarchy typically refers to the way data is structured, organized, or related in a parent-child relationship. So basically, when we maintain this parent-child relationship, as we know, like primary and foreign key relationship, it is similar to that. So basically, there will be the root node, and then we will have all the child, and then uh, their subchilds and all. So the data is managed in the hierarchical level. So it is like kind of a tree structure, and the data will be in the tree structure. So to maintain those kind of relationship, we use the hierarchy here in the MDM Cloud SaaS. So means these hierarchies can be defined in the different sectors, like different way and different parts. So first is like a data hierarchy. So in a data integration context, hierarchy refers to how records are structured in a tree-like format, where there are parent and child relationship. For example, accounts and contact, right? So in a Salesforce, an account can have multiple contacts, and the account would be the parent record, with the contact being a children record. So similarly, in the organizational hierarchy, we can take the example of ERP or a CRM system. There, you might have a hierarchy of the department, employees, or regions. So Informatica Cloud integration allows users to design data flows that capture and move hierarchical data, and you can also perform transformations like flattening or unflattening hierarchical data to match the destination system format. Move on to the next slide. Okay, so then we have object hierarchy. So let's say we have some object or metadata, we can generate the hierarchy for that also. So in that case, basically the objects such as connections, tasks, and mappings are organized in a project or workspace. The object may follow a specific parent-child relationship, and these organizations help users manage, track, and deploy their data integration processes. For example, folder hierarchy means like in the folder we have subfolders and all those things, right? Versioning hierarchy. Suppose we are maintaining the versioning, so in that case, like different versions can be maintained in the hierarchical format. And hierarchical transformations in Informatica Data Cloud integrations is basically it is hierarchical data often processed using the hierarchical transformation. Next. So you need to flatten hierarchical data such as a parent-child relationship into a more tabular format for processing or loading into the relational database, right? So the fourth is like suppose security related hierarchy, we need to create like rules and permissions, right? In this case, the security is often structured in a hierarchical manner. Users are assigned roles that provide specific permissions and access to certain components. The hierarchy can include like administrator roles. So suppose administrator roles are there. These users have the highest level of control over all aspects of the platform. So they are the topmost. Then developer roles. These users can create and modify task mappings and integrations. Viewer roles. These users only have read-only access to platform and cannot modify integrations and configurations. So this hierarchical security model ensures that only authorized users have access to a critical component or configuration in the cloud environments. Move on to next. So means hierarchy we can use in the data governance as well. So in the context of a data governance within the Informatica Cloud, hierarchy refers to how governance processes, rules, and policies are applied across different data assets. For example, data asset could be configured and organized in a hierarchical based on business units. So different based on the different business units, you can organize this hierarchical form. Maybe it can be a data domains also, and we have the data stewardship roles. So this structure allows organizations to manage and track the data governance process effectively across multiple levels of data sources. So, in a conclusion, in a summary, hierarchy in the cloud SaaS is a broad concept that can refer to the data structure, parent-child relationship, hierarchical data models, organizational structures of components like folder objects versioning, hierarchical transformation, processing hierarchical data formats like XML or JSON, right? These are and this, for example, the XML and JSONs are like it is in a hierarchical form, so it will follow the like key value pair kind of this one. So then security roles and access levels. So data governance and metadata management. Each of these hierarchies helps users efficiently manage their data integration and governance tasks. Move on to the next. Okay, so here we have shown how this hierarchy looks like. Here, I mean, by this is one example where from here we can add multiple hierarchies, and we can add their subchilds and all by clicking the plus signs. So here we can see like the organization is the topmost, and then left we have a persons, and then other entities are there, and then in the second third row we have two more sub entities, and so like that it is in the form of a hierarchy. Next. Okay, so here this is once we have configured everything in the hierarchy, we can see how this hierarchy looks like, and we can drill down this to the lowest level from the top level, right? So here we can see means one company is there and there are multiple companies associated with each other, and even some employees are associated with more than one company. So that kind of relationship and hierarchies are created, and by using this, we can drill down the data to the lowest granular level, so that we can get the complete detail on that particular employee. The organization also, we can see how many employees are attached to this organization. And in the right side, we can also see some like the links are there, right? How these two records are linked with each other. So it provides the multi-level search also. And by using the hierarchy means like it is very simplified, and we can see this in the graphical view, and it would be easy to understand. And so that's all we have for today. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
thanks
sir.
to you everyone. Now we can stop the recording.